go ahead and take a look at it. Again, those are your two options.
Dusty Thunder.
Name of the video is Mother-in-Law Poisoned Me.
Everyone has their own nightmare in-law story, though I couldn't imagine how bad mine would be. As it turns out, the worst thing wasn't my mother-in-law poisoning me, the worst thing was why she did it. I met Craig on one of my rare vacations. We had sort of a whirlwind relationship. We fell hard for each other and we were married in a courthouse wedding within 2 months without ever meeting each other's families. Mine visited a few weeks later and after the initial shock, really liked Craig. While we got moved in together and figured out married life, I got to hear more about his parents who lived near the rest of his extended family and a few hours away, though we never saw them. My work schedule is rough. I work 6 to 7 days a week and my off days are a blur of appointments and errands. I think in the 2 years before I met Craig, I only left the city once. I finally got a few days off so we could head to visit his family about 6 months later. His whole family came over and everyone seemed thrilled to meet me, except for his mom, Betsy. She was cold and distant and could sit there without saying a single word to me. It was creepy, but I kept trying to spark up conversation. On our last day, he announced that we should take an afternoon hike up into the national park their house sat on the edge of. Betsy made lunch and I was changing to go out when it hit me, just waves of nausea. I wound up in the bathroom for hours that afternoon. I figured it was just a touch of something and thought nothing of it. We went back a few months later and again had a great time except for Betsy. She wouldn't talk to me though. Craig brushed it off and said she's just getting to know me. He finally said we could rent jet skis the next day and explore a lake in the next town as a way to get out of the house and unwind, which made me feel better. I was so excited to tell everyone that we were going, but it wasn't to be. After eating, I got so sick I could barely walk for the next 2 days. At this point, I started to get suspicious. No one else was sick, and we all ate the same food. It seemed like Betsy must have been up to something, but it wasn't until our next visit when a night in a romantic cottage another hour up the road was canceled due to me getting sick that I was sure Betsy was poisoning me. Craig said I was insane. He said it must be an allergy to something his mom used in her cooking, which actually made sense, though I have never had time for an appointment to get it checked out. Still, I decided on the next trip that I'd make a big casserole and bring it with us. If I cooked the food and served it, nothing could be added. Well, I hadn't had 2 bites before I realized I had left the wine I was drinking unattended while I was heating up the casserole, and my stomach was already doing flips. You know what happened next, and it wasn't pretty. I was so sure his mom was poisoning me, and I confronted Craig about it. I told him I wouldn't visit his family again if she was there. It was our first big fight, but he finally said he wouldn't force me to visit, and we could figure out how to best deal with the situation. She had never been nice to me, so it wasn't a loss. The next time I got off, we decided we'd head to that little cottage we had rented before and not been able to use. We were driving right past his family place and it seemed rude to not stop, so we compromised and bought some pizzas. I even decided just to not drink anything unless it was water from the tap. We got in and threw pizza on our plates when one of his cousins arrived and everyone briefly left the food unattended. I realized my mistake almost immediately and decided to try an experiment. Craig and I both had 2 slices, so I just switched our plates while everyone was in the next room. Craig was so sick I was really worried about him. The drive to the city was awful. We had to pull off a lot, and he was a mess. We had been back home for 3 days before I broke down and told him I had switched the plates. I've never seen such anger before. The rage in his eyes is something I'll remember for the rest of my life. He shoved me into a wall, then came flying at me. He threw me over the couch, but somehow I managed to grab my keys and phone and ran out of the door, not even wearing shoes. Wait, why would he be pissed at her?
Oh, just wait.
Oh, you'll see.
I got lucky with the elevator and made it to a friend's place safely, finally turning off my phone after I missed his 47th call. I had no idea what to do or when it would be safe to go home. It was the scariest time of my life. It was 2 days before I turned my phone back on when I heard the messages from the police. I drove upstate immediately. Craig was dead. Betsy had shot him after he broke into her house and charged at her with a knife. I learned that Craig had been married once before and his wife had died on a tragic hiking accident. Craig made a lot of money in the life insurance payout, and Betsy always suspected Craig had killed her and was nervous about letting him be alone with me, especially out in the remote area he was so familiar with from his childhood. So she ensured that every time he planned an outing that I would be sick. It wasn't easy, but she didn't think I would believe her, as no one else had ever shared her suspicions about Craig. I found the life insurance policies he took out on me without my knowledge afterwards, and I refused to press charges against Betsy. She was only trying to protect me. I still visit her from time to time when I need to get out of the city. I love her cooking.
What? So it's definitely gonna be a nah. But boy, it would make a great little docu-series type joint. It would be like this would be a good episode of like The Young and the Restless or something.
Hold on, I'm confused. So the mother-in-law wasn't trying to kill her; she was trying to kill the son.
No,
Mhm.
the mother-in-law was poisoning her so that she could never be left unaccounted for with him, where he could cause her harm. So what he liked, because basically his first wife died out on a hiking trip or some outward excursion, and it seemed a little funny, right? So mom, instead of confronting her son, because I guess she couldn't, there's no proof, she decided I'm gonna just keep making the girl sick so she can't ever go on these hiking trips. That's still this is why it's a
Okay.
nah, because that means he would have to be able to recreate the same situation
And weren't they alone
with a
other
group of
times?
people.
Yeah, that's where I was like, nah. Because wouldn't they, if she's doing that to, okay, so when they're not at the cabin, they're alone. So how does she protect her when they weren't there around? This date make that's what's okay. This is
Because apparently he only likes to kill people on
in
a
the
hiking trip.
woods. Like he just kill them in the woods. Okay,
It has to be look. It has to look like an accident. And apparently, only way he knows how to make it
and
look
the
like
mother shot him right because he charged at her. For
Yeah.
what
With a
reason?
knife.
with a knife.
Okay, for what reason did he charge at her? Like she was gonna tell her something?
Because he's the one who got poisoned.
Oh,
Which means he knew she was
he
on
got
to it.
sick.
Then she
Well,
figured. Then he figured, oh, she's on to me. Okay, now it's making sense.
I got a news flash for you. If I have a gun and you have a knife and you charging at me with a knife, my first intention is not to ask, but why? I need
I'm
to.
not saying that. I'm just saying I was trying to
But
understand
why
the
was
story.
he charging with her with a knife? I'm like,
I forgot
I
about the
ain't got
part.
time to figure out why you charging at me with a knife.
I
But-
feel you.
So, yeah. Why he act the way he, because, okay, Anna, take it, because I have my reasons why I'm going to say what I have to say.
There's really nothing to argue on this. We should all agree on this one, I think.
No, because he needs to just work it out with his mother.
Well, he did, but she shot him.
Oh, that's right. He tried to give her a hug and caught a slug.
He tried to give him a knife hug.
The knife was a misunderstanding. He forgot he had it.
How you forget you got a knife in your hand?
You forget that you had. What type of knife? Was it like a butter knife? Or was it
He was
like,
going to put it on the counter.
And what
He was
type
going
of
to put it on the counter, but he kind of tripped a little, so it looked like he was lunging, and then she shot him.
I'm just wondering what type of knife was it? Was it a kitchen knife, a butter knife, or a butcher knife? Because if it's a little butter knife, she didn't really have to shoot him.
That sounds just like somebody who accidentally like to kill people. I just happened to trip and she tripped over me and went off the cliff.
But I mean, for mama to be ready to like draw down and put one in you, right? She ain't like his ass no way.
She sure didn't.
She probably got a policy on him too. This could be like that movie where the family thinks that they're in a cult, and in order to maintain their wealth and power, they have to kill the new bride of whichever child. And is a funny, weird ass movie. But basically, the family is all trying to kill this poor woman.
I don't even want to know what that movie's called.
Especially when you talk about
kind of funny.
You still visit her to this day.
But it wasn't made like a comedy, and yet it was a comedy, right? Like it is. I don't know. I stumbled into it one day. It was in the movies some years ago.
Was it on BET?
I stumbled into it one day and started watching it. No, that was when I was in the hotel, so I had to watch cable.
That
sounds like
it. Sound
like a Tubi TV show.
Hey, them Tubi TV shows be good though.
Tubi be jamming, man. I love me some Tubi. And Freevee, oh man, Freevee, boy, it's got
Pluto
Burn
is
Notice.
better.
I
Freebie
like
got
Burn
Burn
Notice.
Notice?
It's my favorite show.
I gotta watch that.
Yeah, if you got an Amazon, if you have an Amazon subscription, go into your Amazon and go to Freevee, and Burn Notice is in Freevee. You're welcome, everybody.
We don't subscribe to Amazon.
One of the greatest TV shows ever made.
Hold on, everybody. Yes, Foxy. That's the one with the guy that likes to do the talking before he does narrating before he does everything.
Yes. Michael Weston.
My name is Michael Weston. I'm a spy until
I used to be a spy.
I know that whole line. Anna, you got anything?
On any of the three topics we actually just talked about.
No? Okay. Here's why I'm going to say nah. And I think it needs to be a Lifetime movie. The only reason I'm saying nah to this is
General agrees there. Yeah.
there's too many holes when it comes to I don't want you to be alone with him in the woods because that's how I think he killed his first wife. Because the real simple thing to do is he could have always took her hiking up to them woods without ever stopping by the mom's house. Like that was a necessity that I think
it's part of the alibi. If I take her by myself and something happens to her, then it'd be like, remember that guy who had the girlfriend, the college girlfriend, this is only a couple years ago, really happened, and she just miraculously disappeared while they were hiking in the Grand Canyon or something like that, and then he went on the run and
the YouTube people that used to do the hiking all the time and
that one.
Because it was YouTube celebrities, whatever. Anyway,
but the movie's called Ready or Not.
And he done went to look that up like we wanted to know.
Y'all welcome. It's a good movie.
I'll take a look. So it was just too many holes in it, but let's see what everybody else is out.
You didn't ask me or Tiz.
Tiz already said something, but Tracy.
I'm good. I said mine.
This is so. What is this? An episode of How to Kill Your Wife? Or something? This is so. This not only does it have holes in it. This is completely made up. I don't know whether the writers of Dallas wrote it or Falcon Crest or whatever nighttime soap opera you want to talk about. This is, this ain't real. No. Thank you.
How to Not Get Away with Murder.
Thank you. Exactly.
Never did look at that show once. Oh boy, this story has taken a turn. LL says, no cap, totally plausible.
Nah.
A lot of the stories, LL is plausible, but plausible don't mean it's real. I mean, it's a possibility that everything that they put in the story makes it plausible. But the stars have to align so freaking well for it to happen. And that's
what kind of poison?
Plausible.
Yeah, because you have to poison her. You can't poison her to kill her. You just have to make her sick.
That's the
what does she got in her kitchen? That she doing this just?
And see, that's the other thing that's throwing me is what was she using?
It'll make her sick, but it won't kill her. And then, you gonna just keep eating her food?
And by the way, Mom, you got some ninja-like reflexes that you able to get it in the food. You could able to get it in the wine. You was able to get, and nobody saw you do none of these. The pizza.
I think it was always in the drink. She just didn't know it at first. But what I'm still curious about though is what kind of chemistry set is Mama working with? Because she had to study for this. Like that means, See, that's what I'm saying. This is family. This family, see. Somebody to look at, if the mom is a widower, somebody to look into why the dad is dead. Okay, so I'm just saying, this runs in the family. Okay,
It apparently
she's a
does.
poisoner and he's a cliff pusher, right? But they both like to knock people off.
But here's the other question nobody's asking. So the mother-in-law thinks that her son is going to kill the daughter-in-law. So instead of just saying, hey, she says, gee, let me poison her so that she gets sick and won't be able. What? What kind of? What? How do you? No, this is not real. This is not real. Absolutely not real.
Yeah. Instead of saying, run, girl, you go with, I'm
gonna
just
poison
going to not quite kill you. I'm
I'm gonna make you
he want to kill
really,
you.
really sick.
He want to kill you. I'm just
gonna
going to make you think you're going to die. So I'm better. See, I like you. He don't like it. He'll kill you.
And who wants a mother-in-law
like
that possibly kills your husband? Because if you could kill him, you could also kill me.
I just wanted to give you the runs. You know, he wanted to run you over.
Craig ignored a friend over and over again when the guy kept getting sick over and over, but he got mad when he actually had to deal with getting sick.
Yeah, because he didn't.
Yeah. If everyone's afraid, they can do very strange. Yeah. Now that I will give you, LL. If somebody is afraid,
They can do some stupid
They do
stuff.
some things that
They do some stupid stuff. You be like, what?
Yes, Parker, a stabbing hug.
Stabbing hug. Yeah, he did say stabbing hug.
Also, how do you take out life insurance policy on someone else without them knowing?
Oh, you do that? That's easy.
No, actually, it's not.
It's pretty easy.
You can get it on your job without the other person's consent, but a private policy, if the person is an adult, they just have to sign for it. Now, granted, you could forge the signature and hope you never get caught because the person's dead. But yeah, that's a little bit of insurance fraud. But what's insurance fraud to a murderer?
Got a point. Establishing an alibi is why he wouldn't do it at home. Okay.
Yeah, because if she dies at home, then everybody's questioning him. If she just gets sick in the
too much evidence to do it at home. If she's missing in the wilderness, 3 days of exposure will erase most evidence.
You see somebody that's seen a few episodes of Snap.
Yep. LL, you fake a signature like middle school.
Pretty much. Like what they gonna do? Check other signatures?
Yeah.
We know they don't.
I heard somebody say, I used to fake my mom's signature all the time at school. It was like, ooh, man, you shouldn't do that. You can get caught. It was like, what the school gonna do? Go and find some other documents and look up my
they sure won't.
And try to compare the two? It's a signature.
They could.
They could, but they not.
Yeah, I respected my parents way too much, and I was scared to death of my daddy. I wasn't forging shit. Now my brother, he could make that signature look perfect. Me, and I'm the only left-handed person in the family too. I'd have been busted so quick.
Wow. Okay.